Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. We have another roadmap update to go through, and it's quite an exciting one. As always, a huge thank you to my patrons and channel members. Thank you so much for the support. Cannot do this without you guys. If you would like to support the channel even further from as little as $1 a month, all of the links are in the description below. So the roadmap was updated last night with yet more exciting new deliverables being added to the progress tracker, including some very highly anticipated ships. So let's delve into what's new. First up, we have Life Support Tier 0 with the deliverable reading implementing the first iteration of onboard life support systems in ships, which entails a ship component that generates air when turned on and management of said life support component within the vehicle loadout manager. This is actually one of the features that I'm really excited to see, and I'm so happy that it's been included in the tracker. The idea of crewmen ensuring that the ship has oxygen, swapping canisters, repairing damage and so on is going to be a really cool but also very necessary part of traveling around the verse. Also, oxygen bottles will be able to be salvaged or siphoned from other ships, derelict ships, so that you may be able to continue on your journey. Now there is 10 weeks work on this beginning mid-July and ending mid-September, hopefully in time for the Q3 patch, but as always, like with any feature on the progress tracker, just because the work on this feature ends in time for a particular patch release doesn't necessarily mean that it's scheduled to release at that time as well. Next up, we have vehicle door improvements, which is updating the underlying implementation of the vehicle door setup that will allow for more advanced interactions, including ramps aligning to terrain and other ship-specific behaviors. Now this is a little confusing as we already have cargo door elevator dynamic alignment to terrain on the progress tracker, which is basically the ramp stopping when it detects the ground instead of continuing to open up and lifting the ship up. That deliverable is slated to release in Alpha 3.16 at the end of the year. It is on the roadmap for the 3.16 patch. So this door improvement tech must just incorporate that and further door interactions of some kind. Now personally, I really hope that this will include a similar setup to what we have with the Mercury Star Runner, like toggling on and off sensors and locking and unlocking doors, or including the need for a passcode perhaps. Now it doesn't mention any of this, so I will try not to jump to any conclusions there. But either way, work on this feature begins mid-October and ends early December, so there is a potential for it coming with the door alignment update in 3.16. So let us get to the ships. Now there are 4 ships appearing on the progress tracker, kicking off with the Drake Corsair. Now this is a heavily armed multi-crew exploration vessel and has 6 weeks work with the US vehicle team beginning at the start of November and ending early December. So my fingers are firmly crossed for a Q4 release. Now the next 3 ships were previously marked as unannounced and have now been revealed. Sticking with Drake, we have the Drake Vulture. This is a light salvaging ship, the equivalent to what the Prospector is for mining, and what is really exciting about the work for this is that it begins midway through this month, being May, and ends mid-September. So just like we suspected, there is a good chance that the Vulture will be included in the 3.15 Q3 patch around the time of September-October, in time for salvage tier 0. Obviously this isn't a guarantee, and we know much of the initial implementation of salvage will be using hand tools, but if they can bring salvage in with the Vulture as well, I think I'll begin living in the verse full time. Anyway, the next ship to be revealed is the AopoA San'Tok.Yai. Now this is the Zhan medium fighter, which is said to be about the equivalent of the Hornet F7A and Super Hornet. Work on this ship lasts 10 weeks and begins early October, finishing early December, hopefully in time for the Q4 release as well. Now the final ship to be unveiled is probably the current most anticipated ship at this time. It is the Banu merchantman. Now the work on this began way back in January and won't complete until mid-December, so there is a chance we will see it release this year, but as mentioned earlier, just because the work is finishing at a certain date doesn't necessarily mean that it will release at that time. But I do really hope so, and it is a good indication of CIG's intentions nonetheless. Now personally, I'm not overexcited for the Banu merchantman. I'm actually more excited for both the Corsair and the Vulture, but I am very interested in seeing how the BMM comes out, specifically as the Banu Defender looks incredible. I really love the aesthetic of that, so seeing that style and design on a larger vessel will be pretty impressive. but it is great seeing all of these ships revealed. Let's just hope that they remain on schedule. So there are 4 deliverables removed from the progress tracker. These are multi-grid signed distance field capital ship destruction, culling and streaming the interior and exterior of ships, animated dashboard state, and the M50 engine swap. Now personally for me, it is a bit of a shame to see the culling and streaming of ships' interiors and exteriors removed, as I feel that this would have been a really good optimization performance feature, but none of the removed features I'm too bothered about. And obviously, just because they're removed doesn't mean they will be gone for good. They will be re-added once they have figured out a good place to slot them into the schedule. On the release view, they now have added both ship-to-station docking and missions spawn closets to committed, as they have successfully passed their final review, which is great. We have now started seeing ship-to-station docking with 313.1 on the PTU, so that will come to live any day now. And to finish with, CIG mentioned that both the progress tracker and release view will extend to Q1 2022, with the next roadmap update on May 19th, so in about a couple of weeks. Now this will only include the upstream teams' schedules for the first update, with the downstream teams of course relying on what the upstream team does. So their schedule won't show the entire year, and therefore the downstream team schedule will update in Q3 2021, shortly after the following update. But that is this week's roadmap changes. Very happy to hear that we will see the Q1 for next year added soon. But really for me, as an owner of both the Vulture and Corsair and a big Drake fan, and I'm also an owner of the Banu merchantman, so I'm really excited to see these ships make an appearance. Plus, knowing that we will be following along their development in Star Citizen's weekly shows is going to be fun seeing them come to fruition. But with that said, that brings me to the end of the video. If you enjoy my content, do consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you would like to talk more about Star Citizen or ask any questions that you have about the game and its development, you are all more than welcome over on twitch.tv/supermacbrothers Ryan. The links are below. Thank you again to my patrons and channel members. Cannot do this without you guys. And if you want to be notified when my videos go live, tick that little notification bell. Hit that thumbs up if you don't mind. Does the channel a big favor. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.